goal is to create a successful company, right? At the end of the day, that's important. And that company, we hope, ushers in the next generation of electric vehicles that have longer range, lower cost, and are a product that all Americans want to drive. And I hope that those products are all American made, have US innovation in them. That's the goal. But it's also part of our goal to make sure that we have a positive impact on the community, specifically Flint. We have met a number of folks from Flint. You've touched our hearts over this last week, and I think this is great. We've gotten emails from people, saw the announcement, said, hey, I'd love to work at this plant. And then they won't just say that, but they'll give me the history of their family, and they say, I have a grandpa that worked in Buick City, or a cousin, or an uncle, or an aunt. And I can tell you it's more than one email. We would never get that in Chicago. So in a number of ways, it's given new meaning to what we do at Nanograph. I think in the past, it's been the focus of the clean energy transition. But now I'm realizing there's communities like Flint where Nanograph could do a great deal of good. So we're up for the task. Before I get off the stage, I wanted to say a special thank you to some folks. The Flint Economic Development team has been amazing in the decision process. The Tylers, they're probably right in front of me. But anyways, yes, these guys have been amazing. They opened up the doors to Flint, helped us understand what the Flint people want, what they need, what they're passionate about. That was important to us in the decision. I also want to thank MEDC, Doug, big part of this. I don't know if Bogdan's here, but thank you. We appreciate the support. Okay, so that's enough out of me. I'd like to introduce the mayor of Flint, Sheldon Neely, say a few words.
Good morning. It's another blessed day in the city of Flint. This is a day that God has awesomely made to be able to produce another great announcement here in the city of Flint. I want to thank Dr. Wayne for being here and his team for selecting Flint to be able to be a part of our family. Give a round of applause for that. One of the things, when I look around, my heart is filled. One of the things that I always try to do here in the city of Flint is talk about being a social-minded mayor, about coming together and bringing people together. As I look at this room and the partners that are in this room, I often talk about prayer, planning, and partnership. We pray, we plan, and we look for our partners. I see members from the school board, philanthropic community, the business community, the education community. We're here in this room to be able to make this announcement, to give birth to a project that's going to give life, more business life to this community. 2 years ago, when we all made a partnership, a public-private partnership, to redevelop this brownfield site, probably the third largest in the state of Michigan at that time, Buick City. And for some of us, that means it's a name, but for those like me, Flint resident, that grew up about a half a mile from here, where my family actually worked here to provide a living for my siblings, my family, my cousin, my neighbors, and my friends, unions. My uncle was a shop committee man here right on this particular site. It means much more. The redevelopment of life for a community. That's what it speaks to. Just not an economic project, but it's a part of our ecosystem, working together. It was our goal to bring economic opportunity back to an economically disenfranchised portion of the city of Flint, a once thriving place that employed tens and thousands of people to fall by the wayside. But now, in the horizon, we have connected with hope, and hope is a prerequisite to faith. And Dr. Wayne and his team, and we want to thank you for that, to be able to bring manufacturing here, clean manufacturing type of opportunities here, where it won't have an impact on our environment, when we looked at a world that had environmental injustices all over the place. As I look out at Dr. Mona Hatisha here, the developer of RX Kids, and we were able to partner with that with others to be able to say that we're going to have strong children, strong families, pushing forward, making sure our economic economy is better, our environment is stronger. This is a great thing here in the city of Flint. It's much more than just one development, but it's a part of an ecosystem that's going to make our nation better. Flint is inspiring our nation today. You know, and I want to thank Nanograph and his team. I want to thank the Tylers as well. And if you notice, these Tylers are tall, you know, and so they stood up big, not only in stature, but they stood up big in making sure that we can usher this project here inside the city of Flint. And we still have more work to do. It's not over. We still have more work to be able to be done, and it's going to take all of our partners. I want to thank David Crane for having enough insight to be able to say that we deserve an opportunity to be able to get a grant, to be able to help economic growth. Give him a round of applause and the rest of the team for that. I want to thank our union partners to be able to say that we can have craftsmanship, workmanship, with good paying jobs to be able to support the middle class families in this region, to be able to keep building America, making it strong. Our educational partners, you know, when you don't have much to be able to be marketed, we had to be very creative. And so when we marketed this project, we have Mott College, University of Michigan Flint, Kettering University. So I said, I'm going to start selling intellectual capital. We're going to manufacture a level of intellect with our young people here, saying that we're going to have a ready-made workforce for you. When you open the doors, you're going to have the best and the brightest educated right here in our town. We have a gold mine here in our workforce and in our intellectual power. We are strong. Thank you for that. I know I'm the first, and I'm taking a little time. I'm not the only Flint Northern Viking graduate on the podium today. The next one you hear from Congressman Kildee, he'll take a little bit more time than I. But that's okay. A great, strong warrior for this community that it will be retiring this year. But give him a round of applause for his service. To Nanograph, the rest of our family, the rest of our partners, take a deep breath. We're living in a bonus. God bless you.
Good morning. My name is Matt McCauley. I am the Senior Vice President, Regional Development at the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate Nanograph on choosing Michigan, choosing the Flint community. And I think that there's a lot of symbolism going on right now within the state as it relates to this. And I think about the Detroit Lions. I think about the Detroit Tigers. 3 years ago, who thought that the Detroit Lions would be where they are today? A month and a half ago, who would have thought the Detroit Tigers are where they are today? 3 years ago, who in the world would have thought that the United States is a place to invest in with regards to advanced manufacturing, semiconductors, batteries, so on and so forth? We're now proving them wrong, like the Lions, like the Tigers. Years ago, who would have thought that Flint is the place within Michigan that you can succeed with regards to manufacturing? And again, we're proving them wrong. Nanograph is proving them wrong. And we're very proud of that. And it's the team at MEDC, and I'd like to call out Doug and Nadia and Dylan and Joe and Bogdan, who is also here, that work behind the scenes tirelessly with the local partners, Tyler and his team, Nanograph and their team, our elected officials, on ensuring that Michigan is the place to invest in. is the place that can represent the United States globally with regards to advanced manufacturing, battery technology. And I think that really encapsulates this company and why we're celebrating here today. And also I want to be able to thank the Department of Energy of looking at this site and also 3 others across the state in providing investment toward that vision that we have. And I would say the continuation of reputation that we have as the maker of things, that we are the state, this is the community that put the world on wheels, and therefore this is the natural place for investment to continue that legacy of manufacturing, making things, and ensuring that the world moves forward. So I also would close with, this doesn't happen without leadership. I'd like to thank the governor, thank Director Corbin, and the Competitiveness Fund on the leadership to be able to provide state dollars to leverage these important federal dollars to ensure that these projects do indeed happen in Michigan. And with that, I'll introduce Congressman Dan Kildee.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you to Nanograph, everybody involved in this project, and thank you for mentioning the lions and tigers, because lately, everywhere I go, people just want to ask me about dogs and cats. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Thanks to Undersecretary Crane, thanks to everybody involved in this moment coming together. You know, it has been mentioned that this particular investment is a really important investment in our own future, because not only is it new jobs, new construction done by union workers, but it's also investing in new technology in the next generation of manufacturing, which is really important to our community, but particularly on this site. It has a huge economic benefit, contributes to an ecosystem that will attract other investment for sure, but has, as the mayor knows more than anybody, an incredible psychological boost to the people of this community. As he said, we graduated from the same high school. I think he might have been a couple years after me. But, you know, we've been here and we have, as many of you have, experienced the sort of trajectory of the economy here. And over the many decades that I've been involved here, we have seen some highs and some lows. We've seen, as a result of policies that people locally had no control over, many American jobs, many American manufacturing jobs going to other places around the world, places that have now become our economic competitors. And so when we in Congress set out, under the leadership of the Biden-Harris administration, to move us back in the direction where jobs come home, we did that with some intention. We did it with the idea that we would incentivize the kind of investment that we're seeing today through the CHIPS and Science Act, the bipartisan infrastructure law, the investment incentives that we put in place that I helped to write. I wrote the electric vehicle tax credit and other consumer side of this equation to help draw these great manufacturing jobs back to the places like Flint that were so much a part of our manufacturing legacy, and put us in a position where we don't have to think of manufacturing as a very important part of our history, but also a really important part of our future. 100 years ago this year, my grandfather and my grandmother moved from Buckley, Michigan to New York Avenue, just a few steps away from where we are right now, for my grandfather to go to work at Buick on this site. His generation, their generation, helped build our community, helped make it the great place that it is, contributed to the incredibly rich culture that we have here. And what we're celebrating today is not just that history, but we're celebrating the fact that other families are going to make that same decision because of the investment that we're seeing here today. This begins to create, as I said, an ecosystem that will attract more investment. We can't stop here. But the work that Nanograph does connects so much to what the 21st century manufacturing world is going to look like, that it positions us to have as much hope for our future as we have pride in our past. And that's a really important statement that is being made by this investment. This is what we set out to do when we wrote these laws. And it's particularly gratifying to be celebrated in my hometown, blocks from where I was born, on the ground that brought my family here in the first place. It's a really magical moment, and I'm really, really appreciative. And there's so many partners that have been a part of this. Dr. Wang, Nanograph, the federal government. It's the state and local governments. The leadership has come together to make this happen, and we should be very proud for this moment. With that, let me now turn the microphone over to one of the leaders in Nanograph, the Chief Operating Officer, Connor Hund.
It's great to be here today. It's very nice. This is actually my first time in Flint as part of Nanograph. So I know Tim, Jeff, Francis have been here a couple times, but it's really special to meet everyone here. And I'll just say, there's 30 some people back in Chicago that we wish could also be here today, right? I just want to tell you guys a little bit about what this means for Nanograph. The level of excitement of our team, everyone back there, the community, it's really special to see, this many people coming together to, build something with Nanograph. Not that it wasn't this exciting every day when it was 8 of us in tiny incubator dungeony offices. But it's pretty cool to see this come together from back in those days. Francis has been with the company 9 years. I've been with it close to 4. Most of us there in those days, it's a little hard to dream of these types of things. I also want to tell everyone, this is just the beginning of our growth journey, right? We've kind of been small, Midwestern roots, stay small, it's really exciting. And I think the moment's here, the industry's here. It's thanks to the Department of Energy. It's thanks to, the Biden administration. It's thanks to everyone in Flint and the greater Michigan area doing all the things that you're doing that has made this moment possible. And, Francis and I had a moment last week where we kind of said, hey, it's time to put the chips in the middle, right? It's time to go big. And we're excited to be at that point. I'll also say, one more thing. All of the people, I do a lot of the hiring as COO for our 2 facilities in Chicago, and I've seen what it means to our employees, to their families, to work at a clean energy company that's bringing American manufacturing. We're excited to bring that exact same thing to Flint with a heck of a lot more jobs than we have in Chicago. So we're excited to build that. We're also excited to partner with union labor. We've been a supporter and a partner of union labor in Chicago. We're using union labor for our second facility that we're building out right now. And we're excited to do the exact same thing here in Flint. With that, I think we're maybe a tick out of order here. So I will turn it over to David Crane, Undersecretary of the Department of Energy, focused on infrastructure. And then I'll also shout out Mike Randick of the Michigan Building and Trades Council, who will speak after Secretary Crane. Undersecretary, and thank you all for being here.
Well, thank you, Connor and Dr. Wang, for your hospitality here, and thank you all for being here. Before I actually continue with thanking everyone I have to thank, I just want to tell you that we're at this point we're fairly deep into implementing the bipartisan infrastructure law to me, the first great infrastructure law that I actually remember having been passed in my lifetime. And as you can see from me, I've been around for quite a while. And so I've made a fair number of these announcements. And as probably most folks know in the room, I work for a former governor of Michigan, and usually she and I are never in the same place because we're making announcements on the same day. And she always takes Michigan, so, and I always get Indiana. So I've been to Indiana about 4 times in the last few months while she's up here. And as it happens, I was in New York City with her earlier this week because the Department of Energy rang the bell at the New York Stock Exchange on Tuesday. And we had a rare thing to sort of compare schedules. And I said I was coming to Flint. And she actually got a little bit agitated. And she said, "Why am I not going to Flint? Why are you going to Flint?" I'm like, "Come on, you cannot hog Michigan. Give some of the rest of us play in the sandbox." So as a person from Illinois myself, I'm quite pleased to be able to come be here with you today, and Mayor Neely to be in your wonderful city, and the state officials as well. I don't think this whole project wouldn't have happened without the efforts of the state of Michigan. And as I do, I get around, and it's just extraordinary when the state government and the federal government aligned is what we can do for the people. And this is an actual example of this. And so, and then of course, finally, or not finally, because it does truly take a village, but all the money that we're putting into the American economy, not only to provide safe, affordable, reliable energy for the American people to come, but to bring this clean energy transition, it absolutely wouldn't be possible without the unions. They've been a full partner to the Biden-Harris administration, a full partner to the Department of Energy, and the unions. The union jobs that are going to be created to build out this facility and then to operate it. We very much appreciate the union support. So, as Connor said, I'm David Crane. I'm the Undersecretary for Infrastructure at the Department of Energy, the first ever, because the position and the vertical was created to implement this legislation. This announcement of the $60 million of federal money that's being invested here to catalyze a $174 million project is part of a $3 billion investment of federal money across 25 projects in 14 states. And you may have noticed in that last sentence, sometimes whenever I hear someone talk, because this is what we call grant money, which means that it does not need to be repaid to the federal government. So sometimes people use the word that we're giving this money. I'm like, well, no, first of all, this is taxpayer money. And what we are doing on behalf of the American people, because obviously taxpayer money is collected from people across the country, we are investing that money here in this facility, in this technology, in the folks that are going to build this plant and operate it. And we couldn't be more pleased. And I would note, having overseen the process, this was an intensely competitive process involving, I think, something like $7 of requests for every dollar we were able to select. And so another word that would be used is that Nanograph, the city of Flint, the state of Michigan, won this in a full and fair competition. So actually, I think we should stop right there at that moment. Can we just give a hand to everyone who was part of that? With Dr. Wang in the room, the part of the prepared remarks that they gave me to explain what advanced silicon anode material, I'm just not going to do that with you, and particularly since I went to law school and I didn't actually attend the course on advanced silicon anode materials. But I do know this is, again, having been around for a long time and having become interested in energy way back in the 1970s when because of external events, the United States became vulnerable to international supplies of foreign oil, not always located in countries that were friendly to the United States or had the United States' best interests in part. One of the great things about this legislation that Congressman Kildee wrote was the national security end of it. And one of the offices that reports to me and which actually gave this award, the Manufacturing and Supply Chain Office, is specifically designed to make sure that we don't substitute previous dependence on Middle Eastern oil to foreign sources of manufacture of critical materials for and parts of the clean energy transition. And so this is fantastically important, not just for the economy, not just for the environment, but for national security. So thank you, Congressman Kildee, for that aspect of it. So again, very excited about the 200 construction jobs, the 150 permanent operating jobs that are going to be created here. And I just look out at this and I just hope that I'll be invited back when it's all up and operating, and then we can celebrate a ribbon cutting of the operational facilities. So thank you again for having me, and congratulations. Oh, wait, where am I? Oh, Matt. Oh, okay. Okay, so whoever goes next.
Hi, my name is Michael Randick. I'm the president of the GLS Building Trades, which is Genesee, Lapeer, Shiawassee, short Flint Building Trades. I'm also the business manager of Iron Workers Local 25, which represents 64 counties in the state of Michigan. I want to thank Nanograph for coming here too and choosing Flint. They won't be disappointed. I talked to a couple of the guys. We are very, very industrial building trades in the state of Michigan. Myself personally, I've been a member of Iron Workers for 37 years, So I've worked all over the country. And I could tell you stories of the states I've been in. And most of the guys that I bring to man the jobs when I was in the field was from Michigan. In the state of Michigan, I have friends in Chicago. No knock. You'll be very, very happy you're here. And that's a fact, guys. I always make a bet whenever we do a new project, and I haven't lost yet. And my bet is this job will be on time, under budget. And if it ain't, you can go somewhere else. I haven't lost yet, right? Because I do have the most highly skilled trades in the United States right here in Michigan. I have some of the trades here with me today. I got electricians. I got sheet metal. If you guys raise your hands. I got Michigan building trades here. I got iron workers, cement finishers, painters, UA. So thank them for coming. A lot of you guys that don't know what the building trades do, look around. This is just a sample of what we do, is what you're sitting in right here. If you guys came up 475 and you see them big girders sitting out there, now that's what my iron worker agent right there is doing, right? That's his job, setting the beams out on the bridges. So we encompass all aspects of construction in the state of Michigan. And we're very, very proud to be part of this job. And we look forward to doing more in the future. I also want to thank Congressman Kildee. If I had my way, he wouldn't be retiring, but we got to wish him luck, right? So there's nobody went out of his way more for Flint and Genesee County than Congressman Kildee, right? So I'd like to give him another round of applause and all of our representatives from the state. So thank you. Next up, we have Travis Brady, Michigan Building Trades.
Hello, I guess looks like I'm the closer here, so staying on the baseball theme. No, Mike wrapped it up pretty well there with all the building trades. I'm Travis Brady. Michigan Building Trades rep. I cover from Flint up to the Mackinac Bridge over to Traverse City, but work throughout the state. My boss, Steve Claywell, is here, the president of the Building Trades for the state. And I work for Mike and all of them guys that they're really all my bosses. So I run around and do what they need me to do. So they put me up here. But I just want to thank all the city, the county, the state, federal officials, the legislators. They work on this stuff every day to bring things back home to Michigan. We've seen so much, and this area is a prime example of watching things go overseas. And it's nice to see some of that come back. And the commitment from Nanograph to use union labor on this project. I've worked both sides. When I was young, I wasn't born union. And there is a difference, and anybody that's worked it or been around it will know the difference. And I'm glad Nanograph sees that and is committed to working with the Michigan Building Trades. So thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm one half of the Tall Tylers, and I won't tell you the better looking one. It's Tyler. But the good thing about Tall Tylers is they can talk really fast and get through this. So I just want to say a couple things. Number one, thanks to Nanograph for choosing Flint, choosing our community. We are honored and we're excited to celebrate the partnership that you're going to be evidenced of here. Also, as mentioned, we all know that this community put the world on wheels, and it's really exciting that we will now be a part of that next generation of automobiles. This incredible project is a reality because of many people on stage here or in the audience and the partnerships those relationships represent. I can remember touring this community or touring this site with folks from Ashley Capital and Nanograph. I remember going to Mott Community College and hearing about all the great things they offer there. I remember sitting with the mayor and talking about this opportunity, and so impressed that Nanograph would come back and want to choose us. That's really rewarding for us. What I'm most excited about as someone who's raising a family here is the opportunity that projects like this represent for young people. And some of the major beneficiaries of this project are practicing for homecoming tonight, and they're going to math class, and they're at school. And I think that's a really great thing that we all got to remember when we're in a room like this, because the real beneficiaries are not here right now. The next thing I want to just mention is that Nanograph is going to be committed to this community. They have a plan to invest in workforce development. They have a plan to invest in education and apprenticeships, things that our community needs and will help make them thrive. I'm excited about that. For our nation, we're excited that projects like this make us less reliant on foreign countries, that we are bringing our supply chain home and creating jobs here in Flint and in the United States. And then just want to say, projects like this, cutting edge technologies, legitimize Flint as a place to do business and will spur more investment in our community. And there's many exciting things going on in this community, and we are proud to be a part of it. Thanks.
Good morning. As I close out the ceremony, I want to first thank our speakers for being here on very short notice. It's incredible we got this together so quickly, so thank you to the City of Flint as well. We've been asked one question several times in the past week, which is, why Flint? And to us, the answer is simple. An eager and skilled workforce, a rich history of manufacturing excellence, and a community that embodies our values. At our company, we believe in the power of people. It's the tenacity, the hard work, the perseverance that got us to where we are today. And these are the same values we see reflected in the Flint community. The Flint community has proven time and time again they can rise to any challenge, overcome any obstacle, and keep moving forward. Starting from the assembly lines in 1904 that began the Industrial Revolution right here on this very property. The people of Flint have always been innovators, builders, and leaders. They faced challenges head on, adapted, and emerged stronger. It's this spirit that drew us here, and it's this spirit that makes us incredibly excited to join this vibrant community. We are here not just to build a facility, but to build a partnership. Our vision isn't just to operate here, it's to actively contribute and to be a fabric of the community. We aim to be a good neighbor, an engaged partner, and a positive force in the lives of the people who live here. Simply put, we want this company to be something that you can be proud as in your backyard. To that end, we've developed an extensive community benefits program that placed on 3 areas of emphasis: workforce development, education and apprenticeships, and the health and well-being of our employees and the surrounding community. For workforce development and education, we're proud to partner with local institutions like Mott Community College, Kettering University, the University of Michigan Flint, as well as, of course, our local trades and unions. We believe in providing opportunities for training, learning, and career advancement so students are prepared to work at our company or any company in this next wave of high-tech manufacturing. In supporting health and well-being, we've joined forces with incredible partners, including the Greater Flint Health Coalition, Dr. Mona at RX Kids, TriShare Childcare, and the CS Mott Foundation. These partnerships reflect our commitment to ensuring that our employees, their families, and everyone in the wider community has access to resources that promote well-being and quality of life. We understand that building a brighter future is a shared effort. That's why our commitment to Flint extends beyond the walls of this facility. We are dedicated to investing in this community, not simply in terms of jobs, but in long-term success, health, and prosperity of Flint as a whole. As we open this new chapter today, we do so with tremendous excitement and gratitude. We look forward to working alongside you, to learning from you, and growing with you. Thank you, Flint, for welcoming us. We're truly honored to be here, and we can't wait to get started. Thank you.